Previously on Understanding Crypto Predictive Analysis. For now, BTC dominance is back below the 50 EMA on the daily time frame, which is great, which is good. It's more of the reason why I think this thing is eventually going to plummet. We are mostly looking to the downside for USDT dominance, which means that for BTC, we are mostly looking to the upside. BTC on the macro is great. It is mostly bullish. Well, just the potential problems here that it's creating higher highs on the price and lower lows on the RSI here. Then the next level will be somewhere around 123 to 128. Retracements will be for the longing. Now we look at Ethereum because it controls altcoin. So support now becomes 2,737. After we come up here, we'll most likely have a retracement here for Ethereum. Around this zone right here, that's 1.618. The retracement may not even be deep, so you could just have something that looks like so, come up here, do like this, and then rip straight up. This is really beginning to make me think that Bitcoin dominance may really be about to crash. ETH BTC. After a weekly candle close above this 0.8 right here, this thing will be shooting up to this target right here. It would be greater for ETH USDT actually. Since we came down into the 1.618, we are still around that zone. So what's the next zone after that? The 0.786. 0.786 is up here at about 0.05. So whales are currently not sending in any substantial amount of BTC into exchanges. Looks like they are pretty confident in this rally. Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen to another special edition here on Understanding Crypto. My name is Herve, and every other day here we bring things like predictive analysis, research and tutorials to help you navigate your way through this treacherous marketplace. So if that's the type of content you find interesting, be sure to click that like button and subscribe to the channel with your notifications on so that you do not miss out on any other value-packed video like this one. So in our previous video, I was actually saying that I'm going to be making a research video, and I mean the week just got busy with me, so I only had time today, but I promise you I will do my best to do that in the next coming days within this week. So let's just jump right into this one now, shall we? We don't want to waste time here. Yeah, I mean the last video was about 15 minutes. Some people actually like that. I noticed that some people actually like that, but a lot of people tell me that you ought to make your video shorter so that you can get more views and engagement that way, and I understand them. So I will do my best to do both. Yeah. Here we have BTC on exchanges. Some stupid whale, he dumped about this is about 35,000 BTC on exchanges, people. I mean, we're expecting a rally. We don't want to be seeing this. But this whale, well, he just dumped that BTC on exchanges, and yeah. Here, well, BTC on exchanges still continues to go to the downside, yes. We've not had any significant rally on this thing. So as long as it continues to do this, as long as it continues to go to the downside overall, it is easier to move the price to the upside. Yeah, so Bitcoin's price is really just a price on exchanges. It's not a price in your wallet. When you bring it into the market, then now it's priced in. But so long as it's in your wallet, so long as people are not sending BTC into exchanges, well, it is easier to move the price to the upside because the supply is lower. That's basically it for BTC on exchanges. That's it. We will not talk too much in this video. All right, now we go to, we go to BTC dominance. Okay, BTC dominance has been pretty interesting actually. Dumping back below our 2.618 right here. I mean, I'm actually happy about this. Could this really be the beginning part of the alt season? Could this be it? Because you'd know that we don't have any more levels to the upside here. Some people are saying 75%, some are saying 80%, some are saying it's just going to go up forever. But we don't have those levels. And whenever I ask people, why do you think it can go up? Yes, what's your thought process? They have no idea. They just think it should go up. So, well, we do not have any levels to the upside. This is the highest we can see here. Yeah, we can't just say it will go up. We don't just imagine stuff here. So it's currently below the 2.618, which is pretty good to see. And we are actually just hoping that this could be it for Mr. BTC dominance. Going below this 2.618 was really good for BTC dominance. On the weekly time frame right here, we will see that BTC dominance is actually holding now this 50 EMA as support on the weekly. So it did not close the weekly candle below this support zone. We will see what this particular week will give for BTC dominance. Perhaps it's going to close below this zone in this week, but we do not know if it's going to do that. It used it as some type of support right here and sprung back to the upside where it went now to this 3-fib level. But we will have to see what happens during the course of this week for BTC dominance. Apparently, this 50 EMA has been a very important zone for this BTC dominance. So if it does confirm this as the new resistance, then we are good to go. That would be alt season, people. That would be alt season. We can see that it also used it as some type of resistance right here and then continue to move to the downside. But we will have to see as time goes on with this BTC dominance thing. As you would know, we are expecting a minimum of 48% into the 40s right here and even potentially lower. So for now, we just have to wait and see what happens with this BTC dominance thing. It's important to also recognize the fact that until Bitcoin dominance has plummeted, until we can prove that the dump on BTC dominance might have ended, the alt season would not have happened. Yeah, we are not saying that it must happen. We do not know. For everybody who usually says, oh yeah, people have been expecting the alt season, it may never come. We know that it may never come. We are ready for that risk. I think a lot of people actually misjudge us in crypto. They think we just we have this idea, this preconceived idea that it must happen. No, we know that it may not happen. We are betting on the idea that it does happen. I hope everybody understands, yes? There is a chance that we do not have an alt season. There is a chance that this thing just turns around right here and goes up like this forever. There's a chance of that. We do not know. What we are doing is we are betting on this type of fall and this type of fall right here, knowing fully well that it may not happen. That's what we are doing here. However, our analysis does convince us that it will happen. So yeah, we are not just, it's not a 50-50 issue here. We have a higher degree of certainty about this thing plummeting. As to when that will happen is what we do not know, but we are betting on it happening. We are good, yes? Okay, we go to the next. We are already done with this. So today it will be a short video. We'll try to make this as short as possible. Let's see how long this will be. Because I usually say this and it goes up to 50 minutes. Okay, let's go now to USDT dominance. Yeah? All right, we were saying that USDT dominance was going to come down into this zone right here, which was the 4% move to the downside right here. And we can see that it's currently using that zone as support. However, the move actually continues to this low down here, which is somewhere around 10%, a 10% move from our previous video. And from this current point is about 6% move to the downside. Of course, 6% move to the downside will be huge for Mr. BTC. Perhaps it does take BTC to somewhere around 128 to 130K. Who knows? However, the fact that it is support means that there could be some type of retracement back to the upside. So we'd have to watch out for that as well. So where could the retracement lead? Well, if we go to the 2-hourly time frame right here, we will see some type of inverted head and shoulders forming. And that also couples with the fact that this is beginning to look like a descending wedge. That descending wedge would be seen as such. So from here to here. So this is a descending wedge clearly. And let's see if the RSI is showing us some type of divergence. All right, so you see that the RSI has actually been inching to the upside right here, creating higher highs and higher lows right here, while price has been creating lower lows and lower highs. So this right here, this right here, this right here, and potentially this right here. Not this, because this does not correspond with a lower low on price and a higher low on the RSI. So not this, but from this, and this, the three of these right here. Okay, so now, since this thing has been creating higher highs and higher lows on the RSI and lower lows and lower highs on the price, well, that's a bullish divergence, and it means that this thing could have a reversal to the upside. Yes, that reversal could mean a move back to somewhere around here. Well, the main target would be this region right here. And then the first target would be something that looks a lot more like so. So exit here, and you are targeting somewhere around 4.46% to 4.47% if measured correctly. And that will actually mean higher than this high right here, which means that this thing will most likely continue to the upside. So you are bound to have something that looks a lot more like so for this USDT thing, which means that this first move up here was the first wave, yes? So if you cannot put in a lower low right here on USDT dominance, if you cannot go lower than this zone right here, then USDT dominance could actually bring some huge problems for us. However, we have not broken the resistance right here. So it has not happened yet. These are just potential zones that it could move up to if it did break this resistance right here. Breaking that resistance will mean closing a 2-hourly candle above this line right here. That would mean that USDT dominance will most likely be headed back up to here and up to here and eventually up to here. Yeah, those would be the problems with USDT dominance, but it's not happened yet. We've not had any type of confirmation right here, so it's not happened yet. We're just talking about the potential zones to the upside. Yes, and for now, I actually do hope that it does put in a new low right here and continue its dump. I mean, that's what we are here for. The markets have been going to the upside. Some people are bearish. Some people don't want these markets to go to the upside. Some are even calling for lower numbers. I even saw a post by Capo today, and he was saying that Solana is going to go to somewhere around $70. And I think he needs to be arrested at this point. He's too bearish. Yes, he needs to be dropped in a volcano. So even here, you can also see the potential inverted head and shoulders. So we have the first shoulder right here, head right here, and potential second shoulder right here. I say potential because it's not broken the resistance right here. So long as it's not done that, this analysis may be useless, but it's just important to know where it could potentially go, because that's what people usually ask me. Where do you think Bitcoin can go if it were to dump? So this helps us know where it could potentially go. All right, let's move over to Mr. BTC. We still have those levels, yes? The levels to the downside, they are still there. We're just looking here on the micro to see what could happen with USDT dominance on the way to the upside, yes? Which will mean some type of retracement to the downside on BTC. However, on the macro, everything is pretty same. Yes, we already talked about this. I think I actually mentioned this right here on TikTok. This move to the downside right here. So this move to the downside right here, which is the current price, was 56%. That moved BTC from 15K to 118K right now. The bottoming out zone for USDT dominance, I think, will be here at the 2.618. which will be about a 31% move to the downside on USDT dominance. So do the math and let me know what you think this would mean for BTC in the comments. If USDT dominance moved to the downside by about 56% and it moved BTC from 15K to 118K, what would be BTC's move to the upside if USDT dominance were to move by about 31% to the downside from current price? Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, so that's pretty much it for USDT dominance. Oh my God, it's getting longer. Let's go quickly. The next is BTC USD. So let's go to BTC USD. Here we just look at BTC's macro, and we have the same idea here. Yes, we all know this. BTC closed the weekly candle above the 2.618 right here. After 2.618, we are expecting the 4.618 to 4.764 Fibonacci level to get hit. That 4.618 to 4.764 will be somewhere around 170 to 175. That is the macro top for this particular Fibonacci analysis. And this is actually the main analysis that we are using for this macro perspective. We started using it right here at the that's 45k zone, which is actually the 0.786. After 0.786, we have 1.618 retracement back to 786. We know exactly why it did not reach here, because USDT dominance reached there already, so we mark for the next move up. After a weekly candle close right here, same as this weekly candle close here at the 786, after weekly candle close at 1.618, we are headed for 2.618. 2.618, we don't just go through it. Yes, this is not a hot knife through butter. We have to come back to 1.618. We also know why we did not actually reach here, and we also called the bottom right here. Just that around this level, we were expecting some type of retracement right here to create a lower high, and this thing just took off. And it's actually similar to this lower high that we caught right here, somewhere around 52 to 53k. Everybody who has been following along would know that. Okay, so now we reach at 2.618 upon the retracement to the 1.618. Well, we were also expecting a weekly candle close, and when we came up here, I was telling you that I don't really think that is the perfect candle close there. But after this right here, which created the bullish divergence, I said that on the macro we are great. Everything else will be noise. We should focus on the move to the upside as we ascend to Valhalla. Now, the next is actually the 4.618. Everything else is noise, except we can come back to close a weekly candle below this 2.618. We are very bullish. Let nobody fool you. Except there can be a weekly candle below this 2.618 and a confirmation, of course, and we would need some confluences, strong confluences. Let nobody fool you. We are very bullish on the macro. That's it. Let's continue. Let's not make this thing long. Let's go. Okay, now let's go now to BTC on the micro, and we're using now BTC on the Binance, BTC USDT. Okay, let's go to daily time frame right there. As you would know from this particular consolidation right here, our first move to the upside was going to be we actually pointed it out in our previous video, which we mentioned in the previously on Understanding Crypto Predictive Analysis, that was going to be 123k to 128k. Now, we had some very specific reasons for using those figures. The reason is that the 123k zone was the 1.618 of this movement right here, and the 2.618 was the 128k zone. We have not gone there yet. However, we are still holding the 1.618. Let's be very quick with this video. I don't want us to spend so much time. Oh my God, it's already too long. So 128k zone would be up here. Yes, we are still holding this support right here. We've not broken that support. Yeah, similar to we've not broken the resistance on USDT dominance. If we were to break that resistance on USDT dominance, then BTC will go to the downside. So we will therefore now have to analyze where BTC could go on the event that USDT dominance breaks that resistance, and therefore BTC breaks this support right here. So 2 hourly, let's quickly do this. We don't have time today. Let's change that to the candlesticks. All right, you will see that I have like 3 Fib plots right here. Yes, 3 Fibonacci plots right here. Actually 4, which extends to this 2.618 up here, but just focus here. That would be 3 Fib. So we have the blue, white, and green. So according to the blue Fibonacci plot right here, we came down to the 1.618. Yes, 1.618. After 1.618, we went back up to the 0.786. 0.786 is here. We came right back up to 0.786. As you would know, after 786, the next level is 2.618. However, sometimes price bottoms at the 1.618. You need to see a confirmed close and a confirmed decision below that 1.618 after the 786 to say that, all right, price will go up to or go down to the 2.618. It also happens on the way to the upside as well. That's the same analysis on the BTC macro that we just looked at. After 786, 1618, after 1618, 786, after 786, 2618. But then you have to go back to 1618 and close a candle there. So it's the same thing here. If you invert the chart like so, it's the same thing. Move to 1618, come back to 786. You need to see a confirmed close above 1618 right here to start targeting the 2618. So that's what this blue would show us. The white right here is actually more micro than that 1618. So that's why you have the 2618 somewhat higher right here and the 1618 somewhat higher than this 1618. However, they all form the bottom around the same zone. Yes? So here is also 1618 and BTC is using that as support. Another one right here is a bit more bigger. So with this, we have not even gone to the 1618 yet. And we are still holding the 786 as support. This is a very powerful one, however, because it means that if you close below this one right here, you will therefore trigger this 1618 right here. And that would have some consequences, which we will see in a second. So what is this chart telling us? Yeah, what's the purpose of this? This is telling us that we can therefore have a support zone right here. This support zone is actually where BTC would bottom at if it were to plummet to the downside. So if BTC were to go to the downside, you'd most likely see something that looks like so, either bottoming here or bottoming here, which is the 1618 right here, or bottoming here. So you have this zone right here. What's the most likely, you might ask? Well, the most likely could actually be that it bottoms at this here first. You don't just go through that. You don't just come here and just go straight down. At least most of the times, yeah? Nothing is ever guaranteed here. We just use statistics here. Statistics and probability. So most of the times it does this, so we follow it. Sometimes it may not do it, and one of those times will be painful when it does not do it, but that's just it. There is no other way. There is no analysis that is perfect, yeah? And we're not even talking about 80% perfect. We're talking about 65 to 70% here. So it's not like it's super perfect. And there is no analysis that is that super perfect. You just need to lose less when you do lose and gain a lot more when you do gain. That's really just the only way to go about this stuff. Okay, so that's what we see here for Mr. BTC. But we have to understand that it's not broken the support yet. It's still holding that support. And there is really nothing to say here that it's going to break the support. It's still holding it. Yeah. So with what we have right now, BTC is still bullish. Until it does break that support, there is no reason to believe that it's just going to come straight down here. Yeah, we do have the RSI, of course, showing some, bearish divergence. The same as we saw with USDT dominance. If we zoom out to the daily time frame right here, we should be seeing some bearish divergence there. Yeah, so you see that we had this huge high right here. This high was at about 111K, and this right here is actually lower than this high right here, but the price action there is higher. So bearish divergence. Of course, bearish divergence would mean that we come back for the retest, and that would actually be coming back to the 1618 right here. That would actually mean that we come to retest the 1618 of this Fibonacci pattern right here. But for now, we have not seen that. Now, why would this 786 right here be dangerous, as we said? Well, if you do come down here and trigger this 1618, well, you'd have some type of retracement here and some type of retracement, then come to this 1618 right here, which means that you go back to this 786 right here. Of course, it's not, certain that you go right back to it, like really touch it like so. I like when it does that, but it's not all the time. Sometimes it does not. We've seen that before with BTC macro, where we don't actually retest that 786 because of USDT dominance. However, what you'd expect is some type of bigger move like so, and then another potential dump retesting that 1618. It could be the bottom, but then it may not be the bottom, and then you sink to the 2618 at 103k. It's important to note that I was using the wicks for this particular calculation. If you use the bodies of these candles, you will get somewhere around 106k for this 2618 and 112k for the 1618 right here. But I'm just using the wicks for now just to have an idea of where it could actually sink to, like the lowest. Yeah, that's why I'm using the wicks. If it does confirm this 1618 right here, and this 786, yes, this 786 right here, and actually breaks this support right here, then I'll get more realistic with these figures. But these are just potential levels to the downside. To the upside, well, we are still headed for 2618 right here at 128k. I mean, we've not confirmed the move to the downside here, so we might as well be looking to the upside. Another thing to look at is actually BTC on the CME. So BTC on the CME right here. Let's go quickly. Oh my God, this thing is already too long. Oh God. We can never do this now, can we? So let's go to BTC on the CME right here. Well, on the CME, you will see some a CME gap between 115.660 to 114.155. That also corresponds with the first, 2618 that we saw to the downside on BTC USDT. Yeah, but it has not broken the support yet. The support has not been broken yet. So for now, it's still bullish. Well, but just know that there could be a potential dump that goes to those levels. Yes, great. So this is done. This is done. We all know what's going on here. Okay, the next is actually Ethereum. Let's quickly go to ETH. I mean, ETH has done us well, man. We started talking about Ethereum at about 1,800, and we had this projection. So we see that Ethereum has finally come to this zone right here. And man, this has been glorious. Honestly, this was a good chart. What's interesting about this is that Standard Chartered, they had a target for $10,000 for Ethereum. Yes, $10,000 for Ethereum by the end of year, and dropped that target from 10k to 4k around here. That's the 17th of March. They dropped that target from 10k to 4k, and now ETH is back to, well, close to 4k. We'll see what they will say now. And this is still just the resistance zone that we were talking about. We've been talking about this for months. We've had this particular chart for months. We literally drew this box right here months ago. This wasn't even weeks ago. And we did this in a video, in a TikTok video. So since Ethereum has now come up to the zone, what's next? You must understand, as we said, that this move to the upside right here was most likely the first wave. This move was most likely the first wave. This move to the downside was most likely the second wave. That means this move is the third wave. Third wave means you may not have a very deep drop, because a lot of people have been short on Ethereum. So this is going to make them cry. And man, I'm so happy that Ethereum is up here, because we've been talking about this for months. People were laughing at us. People thought we were just crazy. People even insulted us. But here it is. Ethereum is in that zone. And yeah, this is a third wave, and it means that the retracement may not be deep. For now, we do not have much data to say where it could potentially go to the downside. We don't have much data. I mean, look at this. It's just been a rocket ship to the upside. We don't have much data to say where it's going to go to the downside. However, I'm thinking that if it is to go to the downside, then this thing could be going to somewhere around 3,600 to 3,300 lowest. That's all I can see right here, and I don't even have concrete analysis to prove that to you. But I have a bit of, I have some stuffs to believe that it could potentially go there if it were to dump. Emphasis on if it were to dump. We're not saying that it's going to dump. We're just saying that in the event of a dump, that would be the potential zone. Hopefully you understand. You know what social media has taught me is to be very careful with my words, because people will use them against you, even if you did not actually mean, what they thought you said. Yeah, if you say something and not say it correctly in the exact way that you mean it, it will be used against you and it will be very difficult to come back from that. All right, let's quickly go back to the weekly right here and conclude with this ETH USDT thing. Okay, so here we can see that we closed just below that zone. It means that we actually got these zones perfectly. After 1618 right here, let's just say that we do have some type of retracement right here, maybe a retracement that looks like so. What's the next zone? Next zone is up here at 2618. 2618. I actually made a video in my TikTok and I posted it in my YouTube Shorts channel. I also left a post here on my main YouTube channel, but it was not uploading the video here. I left a post, like community post, so you may go there and watch that video. But basically I was talking about a potential move of Ethereum to $10,000, and that was the high, and the low there was somewhere around 5,500. So make sure to watch that video. I mean, I can't just do the video again just to post here, yeah, but I have a post in my community section here on the YouTube channel. Go there and you watch the video. It's all here on YouTube, but my YouTube Shorts channel. Also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. I just repost my TikTok posts there, so that those who do not have TikTok or can't access TikTok can also watch that. With the whole issue of the United States banning TikTok and stuff, I had to create that channel. Okay, so this would be the next zone for Ethereum. Where's the 4.618? 4.618 to 4.764 should be somewhere up here. Let's go quickly. Okay, 4.618 to 4.764 gives us somewhere around $8,000, but we will need to see what happens when we do come here to make that judgment. For now, we are still stuck in the main resistance zone. A lot of people are starting to believe that it's going to break out and move to the upside. However, we have some very clear things here. When ETH does go to somewhere around here, to say 5,200-ish, yeah, that would be what they'd call price discovery, yes? But we already know how we are going to track ETH. How are we going to track ETH? Well, how do we track BTC? We track BTC with USDT dominance, yes? So the way we track ETH is with ETH BTC, because that's actually how Ethereum moves to the upside. Its real price is not $3,810 or $3,811 right now. It's actually a BTC price. That BTC price translates to this dollar price. That's what is important, not this. So let's now go to BTC, BTC, ETH BTC. So ETH BTC is also following exactly what we said it's going to do. Great. Now, we did say that ETH BTC, after a weekly candle close right here, ETH BTC is going to be shooting to the upside. To where? To this first target right here. Hence why we had this arrow right here in bold, and these right here, we have them in dotted lines, just to show where we think it's going to go. But when you see bold arrows like so, you know that we are actually sure about that analysis. We are very sure that it will go there. Of course, it's not 100%, but we are just certain that it will go there because that's what the analysis is telling us. So why were we certain that the weekly candle close here is needed for a move to the upside like this to happen? Well, when you convert this, when you change this to the line chart right here, you will see that Ethereum needed to close a weekly candle above the 786 right here, which is why it had problems around this zone right here. It had problems closing above it because closing above it confirms the VFib system. You already know what the VFib system is, yes? After 786, quickly. Oh God, this thing is long. It's long. We can't do anything at this point. Let's just give up. Let's just accept our fate. It's long. Okay, after 786, quickly. 786, after 786, we come to 1618. After 1618, we go back to 786 sometimes, yeah? It depends on the type of wave. If this is the first wave, if this was the first wave to the downside, then you have a very high likelihood of going back to 786. If this was the third wave, you don't have a high likelihood. You have a high likelihood of just some type of minor retracement right here, and then a plummet to 2618. But the key is crossing this zone right here. This is the main support zone that you do not want to cross if you don't want price to go to the downside. That's the main support zone that you want to cross if you want price to go to the downside. It's the same to the upside as well. Yes. So if you cross 786 right here, first target is this right here. Second target is this right here. We are good. Yes. So that's the same thing that happened with Ethereum right here. So what we needed to see was a weekly candle close above the 786 right here. That instantly enters the VFib system. So after that, next target is 1618. That's why we had this arrow right here. What's the next target after that? 2618. Remember, if crossing that 786 is the first wave, then after 1618, you have a high likelihood of coming back to 786. But if it's not the first wave, then you have a higher likelihood of this thing not coming back. You have high likelihood of just a minor retracement here and then move to 2618. Now, as you would know, we already have said that this right here, this big move right here, was the biggest move on ETH BTC since 2022. That's about a 40% move right there. And we identified that move as the first wave. That meant that this consolidation around here, which was what we called market uncertainty, this consolidation around here is actually the second wave, meaning that this is the third wave. So for any type of retracement here, I will not expect it to be deep. I will expect it to be shallow and then another move to the upside like so. While everybody will load up on shorts on Ethereum that is just going to go to zero, we already know that this thing will not, because this thing owes us a lot of money. It owes us, it needs to pay its debt. So to do that, it needs to go where it was meant to go. It was promised to it thousands of years ago. Okay, so let's now quickly, finish up with this stuff. We are already late on this stuff. So you will see that Ethereum actually closed above the resistance zone right here, which is the 1618 right here on its ETH BTC pair, and also above the 50 EMA right here on the weekly time frame. Now it has not done that for a very long time actually. The last time it did that, which was like slightly, was back in 2024. That's February of 2024, and it retested right here and plummeted back to the downside. So we need to see that this was the confirmation for a big rally up on Ethereum BTC. Now, as you will know, we have been talking about this 1618 right here, which was our revised bottom for ETH BTC. After 1618, what's the next target? 0.786. Where's the 0.786? Up here, which means up here. So here, which means that this whole rally right here will most likely end up at the 1618 right here, even though we do have the 2.618 right here. This is all why we have this projection looking like so. So if we like try to enlarge this so that you can see it more clearly, and let's just put it in bold right there, that's why we have this projection looking like so. Go up to 1618, have some problems, but go up to 2618, have some type of problem right there, go up to 0.786. This will be the ultimate target of this 1618 right here, where we go up here. I think this will actually be the biggest resistance of all. If Ethereum is to top out, like real top out for the bull, it should be here. Yeah, it should be here, but it's not our final target. It's not to say that ETH can go higher. Just that for now, that's what we can see for this thing. Another important thing to note before we quickly close this stuff is that this whole move to the upside right here is just like 81%, right, 82% right now, yeah? And you let me know what you think this will mean for Ethereum in the comments. Let me know. I've already talked about it. Some people told me that I've seen green candles and then I'm just thinking that our price is just going to go up. Probably they don't know me, but you tell me what you think about this. How much Ethereum is worth in US dollars is basically determined by how much it is worth in Bitcoin terms. If it does go up by about 82% in Bitcoin, or in Bitcoin terms versus Bitcoin in its Bitcoin pair, yeah, you get the point. And on its USDT pair, or on its USD pair, yeah, if it goes up by 82% right here on its Bitcoin pair, but on its USDT pair, it actually goes up by about currently 175%. So you see already that it's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same. It's going up more on its USDT pair each time it goes up on its BTC pair. The ratio is 2.23, meaning that for every 1% move on its BTC pair, it goes up by about 2.3% on its USDT pair. Now, given that it's here on the BTC Ethereum to BTC chart, we are expecting about another 89% move up here. Let's bring that to the current price. So to the current price, we are talking somewhere around 80% move to the upside. What would that mean for its USDT price? If we are right that it's going to go up by about 80% right here, let's just say it doesn't go up by 80% here. Let's say that it goes up by about 18% here, which is the 2.618, yeah? What would that mean for its USDT price? Let me know that in the comments. Thanks so much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe.